Thank you so much for deciding to join me today. I'm so excited because I want to share one of the most mind-blowing things about success of Walt Disney ever. For 8 years straight, every signal from the outside world told Walt Disney that he was a complete failure. He tried his hardest, he worked his hardest, but every signal told him he was a complete failure, that he has no chance whatsoever, that he's done, that it's just impossible for him to ever see success. He had zero proof that his dream would ever work, yet he kept pushing until one single leap changed his life overnight. He was completely delusional in his dream. He wanted to achieve his dream so badly that probably no human words can explain it. So 8 years of pure zero validation. He was fired for no to land. His very first newspaper, he was fired for lack of imagination in 1919. His very first professional validation in commercial art ended when the Kansas City Star fired him, explicitly stating he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Unpaid midnight labor in a shed, 1920. While working a full-time day job at the Kansas City Slide Company, he spent his nights in a freezing garage, drawing crude cutout animations on borrowed equipment, receiving zero pay or customer demand for them. The $15,000 total collapse of Laugh-O-Gram, 1922. He convinced local Kansas City investors to give him $15,000 to launch his first real studio. Within months, his main distributor went bankrupt without paying him a dime, leaving the 21-year-old, I am 21-year-old too, completely buried in debt. Homelessness inside his bankrupt office, 1923. During the liquidation of Laugh-O-Gram, he couldn't afford rent. He slept on the floor of his studio, bathed once a week in the public bathrooms of Kansas City Union Station, and survived on cold canned beans given on credit by a sympathetic dinner owner. Shooting a pilot reel no one requested, he spent his final remaining dollars creating Alice's Wonderland, a hybrid of live action and animation, despite every local distributor telling him that short subject cartoons were an unprofitable dead-end gimmick. The $40 suitcase moved to Los Angeles, 1923. When his studio formally went bankrupt, he boarded a train to Hollywood with $40, a suitcase of dirty clothes, and a half-finished cartoon reel that had failed to generate a single cent of revenue in Missouri. There wasn't just no validation, there was humiliation for 8 years, 0 cents in revenue. Rejection by every major film studio. Upon arriving in Hollywood, he attempted to abandon animation altogether and applied at every major movie lot to be a live-action film director. Every single studio turned him down. Starting in an uncle's dusty garage. With zero backing and no clients, he set up a drawing table in his uncle's Robert's garage in Los Angeles, paying $10 a month in rent while his brother Roy actively tried to talk him out of staying in the animation business. A starvation wage contract. When distributor Margaret Winkler finally agreed to buy the Elise comedies, she paid so little per short that Walt couldn't afford proper equipment or staff, keeping the operation in the red despite technically making sales. Established animators laughed at him. When Walt tried to recruit established New York animators to move to California, they openly mocked the idea. Moving across the country to work for an unknown 22-year-old operating out of a garage was viewed as a career suicide. Doing the grueling labor of 5 people alone. With no money to build a proper crew, Walt was forced to draw ink, paint, edit, operate a camera, and direct the early Elise shorts by hand, working 18-hour days without a financial safety net. 5 years of labor wiped out in a single afternoon. After grinding for 5 years on Alice and Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit, distributor Charles Mintz secretly stole the legal rights to Oswald and poached Walt's entire animation team. In March 1928, after nearly a decade of continuous effort, Walt owned 0 characters, 0 studio assets, and had 0 staff. 2 unmarketable silent Mickey Mouse's shorts. Immediately after losing Oswald, he drew Plain Crazy and the Galloping Gaucho featuring his new character, Mickey Mouse. When he screened them, test audiences and distribution met them with total indifference. Not a single distributor offered to buy them, betting his last penny on sound technology. While major animation studios dismissed synchronized audio as an overpriced fad, Walt sold his personal car and spent his last remaining cash to add sound to Steamboat Willie, with 0 proof that a single theater owner would buy the required audio equipment to screen it. 8 solid years of zero net progress, 1920 to 1928. From his first drumming experiment in Kansas City to the premiere of Steamboat Willie, Walt spent nearly a decade enduring constant financial failure, stolen work, personal debt, and rejection without a single multi-year profitable streak or proof that his trajectory was anything other than a complete and utter delusion. Complete delusion. So how he still believed? He trusted his mind over his reality. Walt didn't look at his empty bank account or his critics to tell him who he was. He was focused entirely on the vision inside his head. Failure was just a bad draft. When he lost everything, he didn't view it as a stop sign. To him, failure was just erasing a bad drawing so he could start a better one on a clean sheet of paper. He didn't need permission. He never waited for someone to validate him or tell him good job. He just kept making things regardless of what anyone thought. So why non-linear success worked for him? Linear progress is a slow ladder. If Walt tried to climb the ladder normally, making 5% better silent cartoons like everyone else, he would have stayed broke forever because he had no money or big studio backing. Non-linear success is a giant leap. Instead of playing the old game, Walt risked everything he had left, even selling his own car, to put full synchronized sound into a cartoon. The overnight explosion. That one insane risk rendered all silent cartoons obsolete instantly. After 8 years of flatlining, getting robbed, and looking like a delusional loser, that single game-changing move catapulted him past every studio in Hollywood in a matter of days. So I really needed to share this because I thought it was just insane. He had no external validation. He had no external nothing. It was just impossible for Walt Disney to succeed. There was nobody. Everybody laughed at him. There was just insane failure. But basically what he did, he accumulated all of his skills. Everything he created, he accumulated it until something... as he was moving, until something just worked out, until his work paid off, which is just insane. So yeah, because on YouTube there are many motivational videos right now being popular, so I really wanted to share his story. So feel free to hang out with me even more in my other videos, but absolutely no pressure. You know, I'm also an psychopath because I uploaded like 400 videos with 0 views. It's not, I still need like 30 videos, but like with 0 external validation because I love it so much and I'm just a psychopath. But like, yeah, so feel free to hang out with me even more in other videos, but absolutely no pressure. Explore anything mind-blowing or just to chill back and relax. Take care, please, especially take care, and I can't wait to catch you soon.